I know you need time to think. I can give you that, but not much. A day at most.
No one knows about my release yet, do they?
I was just about to take care of that. I'll reach out to my media contacts to clear your name. My assistant Alexander is currently handling the necessary documentation. Tomorrow, the story of the Ida visitor, falsely imprisoned by the Anchor Infinity, will become the talk of Kylo.
Please remember to add a line at the beginning of this lead news item. The diplomatic representative's assistant, Shirley, was taken into Helix Bio Inc. for treatment after suffering from local environmental sickness.
Clever. That way, they won't dare lay a finger on your partner.
Not only that, if we're going to work together, you must guarantee Shirley's safety. Get her out before the media storm hits.
You know, you're actually very similar to Nanto. He made the exact same request of me, except he was worried about Aglaia. My answer to you is the same one I gave Nanto. I'll do my best to ensure her safety, but if you want a swift rescue, your best option is to partner with me.
I understand your position, but we must discuss something more pressing first. Before I left, I made an agreement with Linces. If they hadn't heard from me after 7 days, they would retrace my steps back to Ida. But that location is a trap, and today is the 7th day.
Now that you broke out, Rafa is going to put the entire Brighton zone on high alert. Even if Lana is running on empty, she's still going to be breathing down our necks.
What exactly is going on with this Lana? And how is Rafa using her to control Kylo?
50 years ago, Kylo constructed the Ark space station. Back then, the station's AI was called Noah. After a catastrophic incident aboard the station, Noah's servers were damaged. Then Aglaia Todd rebuilt it as Lana. From that day on, as the space base and mines were constructed, Lana spread through every vein of Kylo society. The Brighton Zone, constructed atop the remnants of the Ark space station, is no exception.
So what's going on with your Hope Fleet headquarters?
After Kylo established contact with Hykros, Lana soon faced a shortage of computational power. This wasn't unusual. During Kylo's years of rapid reconstruction, Lana often ran into similar shortages. The reconstruction of infrastructure requires the AI's power, but in order for the AI to take over the new facilities afterward, we must increase her processing power. The same logic applies to contacting Hykros and establishing a secure channel. I was fed up with Rafa using Lana to spy on the fleet, so while the channel was being set up, I used saving processing power as an excuse to cut her loose from the Hope Fleet.
How are you supposed to do that? Your spaceship can't run without Lana, can it?
Before Lana took control of the spaceship, or when the Kylians couldn't get AI Noah online, how do you think we managed to pilot the spaceship and explore space? Simply put, I rebooted the fleet's old systems that Lana phased out, and trained the necessary personnel. I've staked my claim. I call the shots in every sector where those systems run. I gave up the fleet's navigation and Brighton prison surveillance, made Rafa sign the agreements, and rolled out the old system across the fleet in place of Lana's.
So since Hykros and Kylo got in touch, Lana's not watching the Hope Fleet HQ anymore?
Lana has no control over the fleet's confidential comms, provision pods, or energy transport systems when they run outside the spaceship.
So this is just a recent change? In such a short time, how much could you even prepare? You really think you can overthrow Anchor Infinity?
You want to head back to Or-Zero? I'll get you a fleet pass for the space rift. Oh, and could you also take this handwritten letter to Hipper for me?
So I'm just heading back like this? Really? There won't be any problems?
Your record is cleared in the system, and I'm personally backing you. Don't tell me you're underestimating my influence or that of Hope Fleet.
I trust you. After all, you're the one who seems the most concerned for my safety. Whatever comes next, thank you for your help. Hipper, long time no see.
You? What are you doing here?
I'll explain everything later. Where's Linsis? Today is the 7th day. I rush back to check on her. She must not go to those coordinates I gave her.
You look like you panicked. Once you reached the Brighton Zone, Linsis moved Helene and Carrot to a new safe house and launched a 7-day non-stop live stream.
Wait, is she live streaming right now?
Yes. She may have agreed quickly, but she knew the risks involved. She set up a live broadcast as a last resort, using it as her own means of self-preservation. I'll contact her immediately.
Hey, what is it? I'm juggling a lot right now, so make it quick.
Linsis, it's me. I've returned safely, and I'm here in Hipper's office.
How did it all fall off? Are you dozing off on me? Where should I pinch you this time? Is that really you?
Yeah, General Veronica of the Hope Fleet vouched for me and got me out. I'm free and safe, so just relax.
Helene, please let Kara know that the spaceship won't be needed for now. Also, inform the others that today's plans are cancelled, and tell them I appreciate their hard work. Got it. You're finally safe.
Linsis? Linsis!
Don't worry. She was on edge for 7 days, and now that she's finally relaxed, she couldn't stop herself from dozing off. Just let her keep streaming while she sleeps.
I see. She's really been through a lot.
Tell me what's going on. You said the General got you out of prison? Did my letter really make it to the spaceship? And why can't Linsis go to the coordinates you gave her?
You sent a letter to Veronica's spaceship?
Of course. The moment I saw you being branded a fraud, I asked the General for help. But with Lana managing the spaceship systems, I'm not sure she actually got the message.
Veronica got the message through secret channels and came to my rescue. I was attempting a breakout and was almost trapped by Anchor Infinity, but she showed up right on time.
The General knew it better than anyone that Project Astralis was just an Anchor Infinity diversion. She must have prepared countermeasures before leaving, and more than one. Lana likely intercepted the message I sent to the General. Anything that actually got through would need a more covert channel.
No wonder Veronica asked me to deliver this letter to you. Let me guess. She wants you to convince me to work with her?
I suppose so. More specifically, she wants me to be totally honest about everything, and she expects that after hearing it all, you'll be ready to trust and support her.
All right, let's hear it.
Honestly, I've said most of this before. The Hope Fleet isn't just searching for a new home. From a human standpoint, it's about probing the limits of the universe. We don't care about homecoming or exploration faction. Anchor Infinity's the one dragging us into these disagreements. Whatever life the Kylians want, the Hope Fleet will help make it happen. Exploration once carried humanity aboard the distant beacon to Ida, allowing our civilization to endure. The Hope Fleet upholds that legacy. In any part of the cosmos, humanity must never cease to explore the unknown.
At this level of exploration, with Kylo's resources as they are, you just can't afford it, can you?
Anchor Infinity has stalled Project Astralis for years, and we've had enough. Hykros are all scientists. They'll surely grasp the importance of this objective better.
Are there many people in the Hope Fleet who are like you? All about exploration and indifferent to whether the Kylians go back to Ida?
Of course. The General spent over 10 years meticulously building her reputation. Many mid-level officers, myself included, have been her supporters since our academy days.
After the spaceship disaster, did they assign you to Or-Zero as part of Veronica's plan?
As you know, Kylo suffers from unpredictable space-time turbulence. Pirates, desperate for cover, risk navigating it, while Anchor Infinity and the fleet only take the safest routes. The stable patterns of space-time turbulence on the Nova Path become easier to spot when they shift. Still, the Asher ran into a spaceship disaster along that route. This much computational error can only mean one thing. Lana is dealing with an unprecedented shortage of computational power.
You're talking about Carrot's spaceship crash right before arriving in Asperia, right? By then, Hykros should already have been in touch with Kylo. According to Veronica, keeping the communication channel with Hykros running drained a lot of Lana's computing power. By the time the Asher incident occurred, the missing power should have been restored. During my time at Brighton Prison, several inmates died within a few days. Word is, Lana didn't have enough computational power, and the brain interface fried their brains.
Lana's computational power is clearly deteriorating. If this is tied into the recent rumors about the construct of habitable areas, it suggests the project is running into major trouble.
Now that Lana's computational power is hitting these limits, Anchor Infinity will inevitably have trouble keeping strict control over the universe. This seems like an opportunity you can't let slip by.
That's why, after the spaceship disaster, the General immediately assigned me to Kylo's key Zeronium supply site, Or-Zero. My presence ensures operations run much more smoothly. According to the letter, your presence has significantly boosted the General's odds of success. The General has great faith in you, calling you a decisive striker and an indispensable force. Your actions have already destabilized Kylo. Should you refuse to cooperate, the General may see no alternative but to risk everything and authorize Rafa's assassination. Win or lose, the fallout will consume Kylo.
I need a moment to think. I have a nagging feeling that I haven't fully grasped it yet.
All right, I need to deal with something. You can stay in this room for now.
Have you made up your mind about partnering with Veronica? I've thought this through, and cooperation is essential. Given Rafa's stance toward us, we need to handle him before pursuing anything in Kylo. But before that, we need to ensure Shirley's safety. You clearly don't trust Veronica. No, it's because I trust her that I'm wary. Her abilities, ambitions, and strategies are top-notch. But it's people like her who are most likely to make decisions that put others at risk. Veronica's main goal is taking down Anchor Infinity and securing Lana's route access. Against that, how concerned do you really think she is about Shirley? If push comes to shove, she wouldn't pick Shirley. But try not to worry. I haven't had a moment of rest since arriving. Helix Bio Inc.'s machines are incredibly handy. With them, I've optimized Shirley's human-machine loop, so she can now bypass space-time turbulence interference. You weren't discovered by Lana, were you? Ever since you broke free, Lana's computational power has been fading. She can no longer study Shirley, and is left with nothing but a rudimentary brain interface prison. What's happening with Shirley now? I used the network to forge a copy of Shirley's consciousness, and slipped it into the brain interface prison, replacing the real Shirley trapped within. I originally intended to bring her here to meet you. However, after learning your plan, she decided to remain in the Helix Bio Inc.'s laboratory, both to assist your efforts and to ensure that the replicated Shirley consciousness would not be detected. If it weren't for me, Shirley wouldn't have had to endure all of this. Now that she's safe, there's only one thing left to consider. What's still bothering you? I've been pondering why Bagus does what he does. Since arriving, I've seen that the universe is full of space-time turbulence, and that the Kylian situation is pretty complicated. It feels almost impossible to track Bagus down on my own. I know he needs my portion of the source code, so I'm going to deliberately surface and try to flesh him out.
He's not just hiding. He's vanished. I've tried to trace Bagus while staying under Lana's radar, but there's no sign of him. He doesn't seem interested in your half of the source code at all. He's actively avoiding you. Is he really hiding? Maybe he's scared you'll claim his half.
I feel the same way. But why? I thought he wanted my half of the source code to open the hyperspace gate and welcome the master he spoke of.
He's in Kylo. How is he supposed to open the hyperspace gate? There's no Tower of Fantasy or Gestos, and he only holds half the source code.
Could it be here? Thanks to the Ore Zero samples from Shirley, Hykros has already demonstrated that Zeronium and Omnium are one and the same. So Kylo has always had what it takes to build the Tower of Fantasy. And Gestos? Can't Lana handle that instead?
You think too little of Gestos. No, of me. I'm an evolved, dimensional quantum supercomputer powered by Omnium itself. Lana and I aren't in the same league. Even if Kylo had an Omnium reactor, she still couldn't start Origin Resonance, much less open a hyperspace gate. If she were a dimensional quantum supercomputer, I couldn't have appeared here like this, and I certainly wouldn't have been able to help you escape.
Let's think about it from Bagus's perspective. If he wants to get the hyperspace gate running, the Zeronium device in Kylo could be adapted into an Omnium reactor. The dimensional quantum supercomputer he's missing? It's going to have to be Lana in the end. Lana's been short on computing power for a while now. Every Kylian we talked to said it's not normal, and it's been this way since Carrot's spaceship disaster.
So you think Bagus has been quietly upgrading Lana ever since he came back to Kylo with the source code?
Some of the servants he commands inside the network are scientists studying Omnium technology. According to Grey Fox, outsiders see it as a relic perfectly frozen in time. Bagus must have had multiple objectives in entering the network. In addition to acquiring the source code of the perfect authorizer, he may also have obtained the technical documentation from Gestos' past upgrades.
The closer you get, the more nervous he becomes, racing to finish Lana's upgrade. The prison's brain interface is already surging with extra power.
If these threads are really connected, then Bagus isn't simply a Kylian who linked into the network through a brain interface. He must have strong connections to Rafa and Anchor Infinity as well. Could it really be Aglaia?
Are you really asking me? Or just yourself?
After everything in Kylo, it's hard to think it's really her. But if it's not, then who's Bagus, and what's his deal with Rafa?
Nanto risked exposing himself to cooperate with you, precisely because Rafa threatened Bagus's life. To Nanto, the name Bagus is nothing more than Aglaia's code name. According to the latest intelligence, Rafa has lined up someone to take Bagus's place and grab Lana, so we believe there is a 78% probability that he intends to harm Aglaia.
Then the Bagus we've been looking for has always been Rafa's subordinate? Aglaia frozen in those pods. Was this Rafa's plan all along?
That also explains why you were imprisoned. Once you become a prisoner in Brighton Prison, they use brain interface to pull data straight from your mind. Without me, your source code would have been gone long ago.
So what made you think they would go after Shirley?
To them, Shirley is a complete technical dossier on the Angel of Clemency. It's only natural that Helix Bio Inc. would want to study her.
If our suspicions are correct, Rafa and Bagus are in cahoots and have been preparing everything, waiting for Lana to complete her upgrade. Once that's finished,
Then they'd end up with half the source code, an omnium reactor, and a dimensional quantum supercomputer.
that's why he's been stalling and evading us. He's closing the power gap between us. Once Lana completes her upgrade, their focus will shift entirely to me. We need to team up with Veronica and get this plan moving as fast as we can. The sooner, the better. If we can gain Lana's root access, we'll be able to access all of Kylo's data and finally answer all our questions.
You finally figured it out? That was faster than I thought.
Before we start working together, there's something I need to ask.
Go ahead.
Have you or Nanto looked into why Lana's computational power is so low?
Ah, that's your worry. When Lana's computational power dips, it usually means she's either performing system upgrades or that Anchor Infinity has initiated another large-scale project, like discovering a new mine or designing a spacecraft. After cross-referencing my intel with Nanto's, we believe Lana's current shortage of computing power is connected to the Anchor Infinity's secret new Project Arc.
New Project Arc? What's that?
What else do you think? A new human habitat.
I remember Hipper talking about this before I even arrived in the Brighton Zone.
Rumor has it that Anchor Infinity is constructing new habitats. I've been hearing about it since work on the passages began. I suspect it's just surface-level work preparing for your arrival.
What's your evidence? Do you have proof this habitat project doesn't exist?
All of the Kylian habitats were discovered by the fleet. If this project is consuming that much of Lana's processing power, it's likely a large-scale habitat, enough to sustain at least 500,000 residents. However, in the Hope Fleet's navigation log, there are no habitats of such magnitude capable of terraforming.
Do you want to hear what I've been thinking?
You've got my attention.
I suspect Lana is undergoing an unprecedented upgrade. Tell me, how much do you know about the explosion 50 years ago?
Keep it short. I flunked history class.
The explosion 50 years ago was a man-made accident triggered by Gesthos, a dimensional quantum supercomputer. A normal AI cannot be classified as a dimensional supercomputer. Only those with special technical upgrades qualify. Gesthos was successfully modified by humans using omnium technology.
You think Lana's tapping Zeronium for an upgrade?
So, about Zeronium,
It's omnium, right?
so you knew all along?
I don't think it's a secret to Kylo's technical staff. It's just that Kylo isn't ready to face it. So they only call it the similarity of energy fluctuations.
I thought the Kylians were kept in the dark.
As I just said, only the technical workers know about this. The average Kylians have no idea how Zeronium works, so of course they wouldn't know about it.
So how do you know that?
My dream was never to be a commander or a captain. Hipper and I were different. I studied spaceship design at the NOVA.
So how did you become the commander of the Hope Fleet?
I initially worked in the fleet's engineering department. At that time, Anchor Infinity was poised to absorb Apex and had begun to interfere in the internal affairs of the Hope Fleet. One day, while I was drafting blueprints for a new spaceship,
You designed the blueprints?
I detect a hint of mockery in your voice. Do you really think I'm the type to be trapped in a dusty office drawing blueprints?
Absolutely.
You can't be serious. In short, I came across several renewed shipbuilding contracts, and the partners had all become Anchor Infinity. The new terms state that Anchor Infinity is also responsible for the spaceship's navigation systems. This meant Anchor Infinity's strategy to weaken the Hope Fleet was already taking effect. If my spaceship can't travel to the deepest reaches of the universe, and is just a transport for Anchor Infinity, then what's the point?
I bet you wouldn't want to see Lana successfully complete her upgrade. She controls the navigation systems on all your spaceships. This upgrade is unlike any other. If Lana successfully upgrades using Omnium, the dimensional supercomputer will gain command of the Tower of Fantasy. But if that operation goes haywire, we could see a repeat of the tragedy from 50 years ago. At that point, everything the Kylians have worked for over the last 50 years will be rendered meaningless.
If your guess is correct, how much longer do you think we have left?
If this upgrade plan really exists, you can calculate how long Lana's been crippled by low computational power.
Then we'd better beat the clock. I plan to make my move during the first formal negotiation, and to get things rolling, we have a lot to prep. I've arranged for you to meet Rafa, and there will be a scheduled press interview with both of you. Rafa will confirm your identity to the Kylian people, so play along.
Greetings, Mr. Rafa. I am the diplomatic representative sent by Ida Hykros. We met previously at the Homecomer Assembly. I trust you remember?
My sincerest apologies. I was unwell and regret that I couldn't personally receive you last time. I sincerely apologize for the injustice you suffered. Minister Nanto, who was responsible for your wrongful imprisonment, has been demoted and had his pay reduced. I will have him apologize to you in person.
Mr. Rafa, are you telling me that Nanto is the only one responsible for everything I've suffered?
Yes, General Veronica explained everything to me in detail. Luckily, she happened to be indisposed. Otherwise, this misunderstanding would have been hard to clear up. We should all thank her.
Without her, the Kylo droids would have swarmed and killed me. I am deeply grateful that she happened to get sick and returned to the Brighton Zone with such perfect timing. Now that you mention illness, I heard that while I was imprisoned, my assistant Shirley was taken into Helix Bio Inc. for treatment after she had trouble adapting to the space-time turbulence. May I ask when her treatment will be completed?
Don't worry. Helix Bio's medical capabilities are top-notch. Miss Shirley will be back on her feet before the negotiations are over.
Then, to make sure she heals in time, we need to push the negotiations forward.
Looks like you're a bit impatient. Don't worry. The negotiation prep is already well underway. Before the preparations are complete, why don't you explore the Brighton Zone? It will help you gain a better grasp of Kylo, which could be beneficial for the negotiations.
I feel that after the Homecomer Assembly and my time in prison, I've got a pretty good sense of Kylo.
Mr. Rafa, you must attend the Anchor Infinity Zeronium quarterly summary meeting in 15 minutes.
I'm really sorry. I've been feeling under the weather lately and it has delayed a lot of my work. My schedule is just too hectic. Let's take a photo first. Mr. Reporter, mind giving us a hand?
All right, you two, eyes over here.
You never cease to amaze me. You've driven Mr. Rafa right to the edge, and now he's ordered me to deliver next week's negotiation schedule to you as soon as possible.
At most, I'm merely a megaphone. I make it impossible for him to feign ignorance. Cornering Rafa is the Kylian people's shared desire.
In our previous meetings, I repeatedly asked Rafa to restore my contact with Hykros, but he always came up with an excuse to deny the request. This negotiation is just him finally running out of excuses. The process is bound to be full of friction, and it's likely we won't even reach a final agreement.
Yeah, he's been dragging his feet, but what's he really after?
This.
We have been in space for 50 years, and every Kylian longs for a home rich with greenery and life. Anchor Infinity has never forgotten the future we promised. Today, I can finally announce that the new human settlement, Planet Noah, will be ready in 3 months. The new generation Kylo immigration project, New Project Ark, officially launches today. Any Kylian is eligible to start their immigration applications via Anchor Infinity's credit system. Planet Noah will be governed by the artificial intelligence Lana and a new generation of humanoid droids. No one will need to bear the heavy burden of production, and the Kylians will achieve true liberation. On Planet Noah, you can let Lana handle everything and enjoy complete freedom. The first batch of immigration quotas.
Has Lana's upgrade finished?
Not yet. According to the intel, Lana's upgrade is also part of the Planet Noah transformation project. The recent computing power shortfall was probably diverted to push Planet Noah toward completion. About that fancy dimensional quantum supercomputer idea you brought up, I think it's the wrong direction. If the target of the transformation is Planet Noah, a lack of computing power isn't surprising.
So it takes until today for you to mention that the habitat in the new Project Ark is Planet Noah. You hid key intel from me.
You've got it wrong. I've heard of Planet Noah's transformation plan, but there's no proof that the habitat in the new Project Ark is Planet Noah. No sane Kylians would think Planet Noah is the next big habitat. When I first heard about it, I thought it was just the wild ideas of Anchor Infinity's incompetent executives. Before I saw today's press release, I never considered there might be a connection between the transformation of Planet Noah and the new Project Ark. I'd always assumed they were totally separate, hush-hush projects.
All right. If it were me, I also wouldn't be able to link the two directly. But first, did Anchor Infinity really succeed in transforming Planet Noah?
I can't say either way. There are no humans on that planet, only a ton of droids Lana sent there. So I have no way to obtain any solid intel. Lately, all the rumors are coming from a few companies involved in manufacturing droids and spaceships. According to Helix Bio Inc., the droids haven't only transformed the harsh environment of Planet Noah, they've also collected a vast number of samples from the native species of this region of space.
Hold up. Before you dive deeper into the discussion, could you bring me up to speed on Planet Noah?
Slow down a bit while visiting the Kylo Expo Hall. Even though Anchor Infinity embellished a bunch of stuff, it's still quite useful. Planet Noah is the largest planet nearest to us. Back then, the space station was sucked in by its gravitational field after the Omnium explosion, sending the station crashing into countless asteroids. Post-event analysis shows the explosion's energy only acted like a slingshot, launching the space station to this location. In fact, over 80% of the damage was caused by secondary impacts with the asteroid belt. The Kylians initially intended to move to Planet Noah, but they discovered that the area was not only rife with space-time turbulence, but also an astral hive stronghold. With no other choice, they had to modify the space station.
So the Kylians have been transforming Planet Noah for 50 years?
If only we needed time, things would be easy. Space-time turbulence and astral hive have always been the toughest nuts to crack for Kylo's scientific community. Any research outcomes in these two fields almost always come with a deadly price.
But I still can't figure out what exactly makes transforming Planet Noah so difficult.
Space-time turbulence has always been Kylo's biggest headache when it comes to space exploration. But for the Astral Hive, the turbulence is like a nesting tunnel, a natural habitat. Planet Noah is swamped with space-time turbulence and home to the Astral Hive. Given the Kylians' current understanding of space-time turbulence, trying to mess with it would be a death wish. To prevent the Astral Hive there from using the turbulence to launch sneak attacks on human settlements, Kylo burned through vast amounts of zirconium and other resources to wreck that barrier visible to the naked eye.
So you suspect the new Project Ark didn't really transform Planet Noah?
Bottom line, transforming Planet Noah and carrying out a mass migration are impossible. Rafa is essentially leading all the Kylians straight to their doom.
Let's not overthink it. His public immigration plan might just be a tactic to manage the public opinion against me. Once he deals with me, this plan could very well be cancelled.
I thought so too, but I did some digging on the side. Even Anchor Infinity's top executives firmly believe this immigration plan is legit. In fact, many high-ranking officials are plotting ways to tamper with the immigration application function of the credit system so that they and their families get first dibs on moving.
Something's definitely fishy. Why not check in with our most enigmatic prisoner?
Is it him? If we want to get to him, we'll have to bring him to the brain interface.
Maybe they teamed up to save him back then for this exact moment.
Who do you mean?
He's the old man who lives alone in a small room and has forgotten who he is. His real name is Krog Hans. He's Lola Han's adoptive father.
He's still alive?
The records state that he is indeed dead, but the body belonged to another inmate. This ruse was orchestrated by General Andrea and Osirata.
Andrea?
He's my father, and the former fleet commander. Anchor Infinity took advantage of his retirement to seize control of Brighton Prison. That's why he made me swear to protect Krog Hans at all costs. I took back control of Brighton Prison partly for Krog Hans. My father said that if I want to take down Anchor Infinity, I'll need to use his influence.
Even if the real Krog Hans is still alive, does he have a clue about the new Project Ark? And I saw him in prison. He wasn't exactly lucid.
So, if we want to squeeze anything out of him, we'll have to risk connecting him to the brain interface.
With Lana's surveillance in place, we'll need your help to pull this off.
Krog Hans, if I remember correctly, he was No, he was the first leader of the Icarus Legion. If he's really alive, that'd be a major deal for the Kylians, wouldn't it?
Well, at least for Carrot, this won't be a trivial matter.
I'm coming with you. I need to verify his identity and do everything I can to keep him safe.
I'll give you the prison guard's pass. You and Nanta will interrogate him. It has to be under the radar. The prison is Lana's territory. And you know what to do.
For his safety, I've already administered Neurocom. You can start now.
What should we do?
How would I know? How did you fool Lana's medical monitoring system to bust out of prison?
I'm curious. How do you use the brain interface to interrogate criminals?
All we need to do is tell Lana what information we need. She'll find a way. But obviously we can't rely on her right now. Which is where you come in.
All right. Could you please step aside for a moment?
Looks like some kind of tech secret from Hykros. All right. I'm going to rest next door for a bit. Come find me when you've got results.
He's in bad shape.
Even inside the brain interface, there isn't a way?
It'll be difficult if you try talking to him directly, but I can sort through his remaining memory. Maybe we'll find something.
Can we confirm his identity first?
He's really Krog Hans. I saw the founding members of the Icarus Legion and a teenage Lola Hans. He also saw Veronica as a child, Aglaia all grown up, and an elderly Acerada, and little Nanto, face covered in ice cream.
Stay focused. Let's be on the lookout for memories related to Planet Noah and the new Project Ark.
Age has caused his brain and its functions to deteriorate. With his years of brain interface torture, his accessible memories are in complete chaos. The human brain isn't a search engine. You can't just input keywords and expect to immediately find answers.
What can I do to help?
Ask him about something pleasant. He'll calm down, and then you can gradually bring up more important questions. That makes it easier for me to discern.
All right, I'll give it a try. Hello, Mr. Krog Hans. I'm a friend of Lola's. Do you remember her?
Lola? Where did you run off to, sweetheart? Luigi's whisked you away on another of his chaotic escapades, hasn't he?
Very interesting.
Wait. I'll have to whip him into shape. I warned you about this. He can't keep dragging you into his messes.
There was a huge bug.
Bugs! Bugs! Queen Zeno is swarming the port side, and the damn particle cannon's empty. We need to prepare the escape pods. You go first.
It's okay, Dad. It's me, Lola. Uncle Luigi drove off Queen Zeno, I promise.
Luigi's funeral is tomorrow at 3.
Uncle Luigi told me about Planet Noah before he passed on. He said there are a lot of bugs there.
Don't be scared, Lola, sweetheart. It's all right. Those disgusting astral hive creatures won't infest Planet Noah forever. Humanity will prevail. Sooner or later.
How? There are far too many xenoids. And with the space-time turbulence, we can't transform it, right?
We can definitely reclaim it. I even proposed a plan to Aglaia. If we can't go home, well, that plan can build you a new spring bay.
A plan? What did you propose to Aglaia?
Planet Noah could be transformed, yes, but it would require a great sacrifice, and Miss Aglaia has not yet agreed.
What would she be agreeing to? The new Project Ark? A space migration plan?
To honor the space station AI that sacrificed itself for humanity, we will name our future habitat Planet Noah, a new glorious Ark. Building the Ark will come at a cost, but I'm willing to bear it. Please, Miss Aglaia, your mercy dooms us all.
Found it. I'll take over. He needs to rest after his mental strain. He has few relevant memories left. It seems that only residual, edited shards remain, likely for the sake of confidentiality. In short, I found a conversation he had with Aglaia. It's 3, maybe 4 years after the explosion wrecked the Ark space station. Krog Hans requested that all forces be immediately mobilized to develop and transform the nearest planet, Planet Noah. But Aglaia refused Krog's request. Lana still needed updates, The Ark space station required reconstruction, and there was no spare computing power. Krog argued that Aglaya's kindness and hesitation would get everyone killed, insisting that she agreed to the new Project Ark. He was sure it was the only way to save all surviving Kylians.
Is the new Project Ark really his idea? Isn't he the founder of the Icarus Legion?
The Icarus Legion formed only after Aglaya rejected the new Project Ark.
Then what exactly was the new Project Ark he proposed? What was he planning to do with Planet Noah?
I can't quite make it out. This memory cuts too cleanly. It must have been deliberately erased.
Let's be sure to inform Nanto. He's Asurada's adopted son and has met Krog Hans. After all, he might know something.
I'm just as shocked as you. Who knew the Icarus Legion's founder would turn out to have also originated the new Project Ark?
Asurada entrusted everything to you before he died. Could we be missing something? Maybe something recorded in the archive?
Given what you described and the new Project Ark's significance, if Apex had put it into motion, there's no way I wouldn't remember. I think this plan was purely hypothetical, and due to Aglaya's opposition, it never had the chance to be formally documented. Asurada never mentioned it to me either.
Does that mean we've lost the lead again?
Aglaya has been slumbering since her body was frozen. At least, up until recently with her distress signal. In retrospect, that was exactly when Rafa was going to announce the new Project Ark. Worst case scenario, we lack intel. Obviously, that's not good. We probably don't have much time left. Meet me at this coordinate tomorrow morning at 5. Come alone. Don't let anyone, especially Lana, notice.
To conserve computational power, I've calculated a route that will let you more effectively evade Lana's surveillance with minimal resource expenditure. Not bad. Keep it up.
Hipper, you and the Hope Fleet aren't actually setting traps to catch people again, are you?
What's wrong?
Isn't that Nanto? What is he doing here? And now that you and Aster are here, can I still slip away?
I don't know. I just received General Veronica's orders and rushed over.
I came here because the General's orders said the Hope Fleet's secret operation might require Ravenport's ships.
A secret operation? They're not really planning to capture me, right?
Don't worry. These are the General's direct orders. They're different from the previous pirate clearing missions. And if Nanto is here, that means General Veronica considers him one of her own.
One of us? How is he any sort of one of us?
Maybe he's one of you. There's no way I'd include myself in that.
I'm curious. What brings you here?
I came because I got a message on the Wednesday crew internal line. Only our people are supposed to use it? The captain was supposed to come herself, but as her mother, as her guardian, and as the first mate of the Wednesday crew, I'm here in her stead.
We're probably gathered now for Anchor Infinity's new project arc, huh?
I've seen the plan. No one's even breaking a sweat. And Anchor Infinity thinks it's brilliant? Please. It's still all coming from Aura Zero mining.
Rafa seems eager to get this plan rolling. It's probably got something to do with the diplomatic representative, too.
Everyone's here.
Oh, you're finally back! I was worried sick when you were captured. I didn't know whether to break you out or go live and put on a show.
I'm grateful for all your hard work, Linsis. Welcome back. I'm just glad you're safe.
Speak of the devil, diplomatic representative. Were it not for your recent actions, I'm afraid we would not be in our current situation.
All thanks to General Veronica. Without Hope Fleet approval, I wouldn't have gotten out so easily.
I got my hands on some of that booze you told me about from Odin, and the very next day, the Black Moon Gang scored a resource jackpot.
That's why they say the Gungnir never misses, right?
Thanks to these great supplies, my brother, Agnes, and the other Black Moon Gang members are gonna have no trouble at all getting through the space-time turbulence and rescuing missing folks. Agnes always says if someone helps me out, I've gotta say thanks. You not only bought me booze, but really aided the Black Moon Gang. So, thank you.
It's no problem. But next time you get supplies, don't order 20 of the same drink again. Each customer only gets one complimentary item.
But Linsis told me that if there's something free, you should definitely...
So it's Miss Lince's. No wonder.
What are you two chatting about?
Oh, you're here too? This is Nanto. He made sure my brother and I shared the same cell. We're buddies.
Ah, diplomatic representative, you're here. I was just asking Captain Helene about the dynamics of space-time turbulence. The pirates are, shall we say, more familiar with it than Anchor Infinity and the Hope Fleet.
Oh, that's right. Mr. Nanto also taught me and my brother a bunch of ways to avoid getting caught. Like using specific frequency bands to avoid being monitored, or exploiting turbulence to keep Lana from controlling the cruiser. Stuff like that.
You two seem pretty familiar with one another. You're friends?
Yeah, he's helped me out a few times, and we've met several times. By my brother's standards, I'd say he's a friend.
Helene, listen. Nanto isn't someone to be taken lightly.
Miss Helene is highly intelligent. She doesn't concern herself with a person's past or present, only with practical problem solving. The information I provide is both truthful and useful. That's what matters most. Isn't that right, diplomatic representative?
Mm-hmm. Genuine info's hard to find. Only a friend would share something so precious.
I can't believe you two actually speak the same language.
Wait, even Veronica is here?
It seems everyone has arrived.
General Veronica.
At ease. I appreciate everyone making it here while staying under Lana's radar. I promise your efforts will not be in vain.
Aren't you the damn commander of the Hope Fleet? The one who threw me in Brighton prison? The top of the bounty list.
Hello, Captain Helene. I've heard quite a lot about your research into space-time turbulence, so I asked Nanto to bring you here to assist me.
Did you have Nanto slip those explosives to my brother so we could break out?
To be honest, that was Nanto's decision alone. While I was in charge of the prison, however, I did tell the guards to take it easy on you. Ease your suffering a bit.
Yeah, prison food's not bad. And the folks were real nice and talented. Other than there not being dolls and them not letting me use the dream house, there's not much wrong with it. Well, in that case, you don't seem too morally compromised. And you're pretty strong. You might just be worthy of respect.
You call me a liar every day, but suddenly she's the one worthy of respect?
I really can't tell if you're being serious. You know I'm not good at all this, and I feel like you're being confusing on purpose. To bully me or something.
Those are just stupid jokes. It's not my fault you can't tell what's serious and what isn't. When I saw Nanto arrive, I was already thinking about getting out of here. Hipper convinced me to stay. Now that General Veronica's here, it's way too late.
First Mate Linsis, don't lose heart and don't be scared. I asked Nanto to contact you and Helene because we need your help.
Nanto? How could he have contacted us? You must be mistaken, or did you take over Odin's Tavern?
The underground pirate radio station at Odin's Tavern is an independent, encrypted server. Even if Anchor Infinity controls Lana, they can't control the station. Wednesday Crew, the one you're with, was originally the Icarus Legion, sponsored by Apex. I'm Asurada's foster child, and after his death, I secretly inherited the radio station.
Bullshit! You really expect me to believe that?
Linsis, I know this is hard for you to believe, but it's true. Just ask the diplomatic representative.
It's true, really. I didn't believe it either at first. Scorpion proved it when I was in Brighton Prison. Laurent was originally tasked by Nanto to rescue Granny Lola, but he got a little too ambitious. A rescue mission became murder, inciting the pirates against the fleet.
I'm still not convinced.
You believe in what Granny Lola's foster father, Old Hans, said, right? He's not dead. He's been interned in Brighton Prison this whole time.
He's right. Back then, the Hope Fleet and Apex worked together to save his life. Then they changed his identity and hid him in prison.
If he's still alive...
I understand that processing this can take time. Linsis, take however long you need. If you still refuse to trust Nanto, then you'll have to trust me instead. We are here to overthrow Anchor Infinity. If you wish to be a part of that plan, remain here. If you really object to the stance Nanto and I have taken, you can leave now. I promise you won't be hassled by anyone, and if the plan fails, you won't be held responsible.
You think you can overthrow Anchor Infinity without me? I can't back down after everything I've sunk into this. Besides, without a savvy merchant on your side, you won't stand a chance.
You're indispensable for our plans. That's why I specifically told Nanto that you must be the one to represent Wednesday Crew.
What's the plan? Spill it.
It seems everyone's in agreement, so I may now discuss Project Anchor in detail, along with each of your responsibilities within it. As you know, Anchor Infinity relies on Lana for comprehensive surveillance of all settlements not affected by space-time turbulence. Our plan is to surround and seize the Brighton Zone on Negotiation Day.
The fleet systems all depend on Lana. We won't be able to control the spaceships approaching the Brighton zone without space-time turbulence blocking her, of which Brighton has the least.
So, our fleet will assemble on the outskirts of Brighton Prison, the only area of space-time turbulence in the Brighton zone. There's our cover.
But even if we reach the prison perimeter, we'll still have to breach a ton of security. How are we supposed to do that?
An extra-large space rift. I quietly set up its activation anchors along Anchor Infinity's approved route in the last long-range exploration. The outermost anchor covers the wood belt.
The wood belt is both covered by overlapping space-time turbulence and spacious enough to accommodate our ships. If we've arranged our anchor points properly, travel to the Brighton zone should be simple.
After the spaceship exits the turbulence, Lana's system takeover leaves a time window just long enough to open the space rift. If done correctly, the ship can fold through the space-time turbulence and emerge directly in the prison turbulence zone.
Opening an extra-large space rift would consume an enormous amount of zeronium. The previous commander's Project Astralis failed due to excessive energy usage, you know.
They developed this space rift tech a long while ago, but it threatened to upend Anchor's control of the Hope Fleet. That's why they decided to terminate Project Astralis early. I've been steadily acquiring sections of Ore Zero. That, plus the efficiency of the new tech, will ensure that we reach the prison's turbulence zone.
I suspected there was a big buyer for years now, but they were too slippery to track. Turns out, it was you. I thought you were just Anchor Infinity's dog, but you've got some tricks up your sleeve, huh?
Apologies, General. She's blunt. It was not her intention to offend.
Worry not. I find First Mate Lynsis quite amusing. Speaking of which, I wanted to ask you. The Ore Zero I've acquired varies wildly in quality. I need you to procure a batch of high-grade ore, as well as a team of smelters.
That can be negotiated. You've got the right person.
Also, I heard that Granny Lola left her inheritance to you, including a set of Nova Path maps. And as for the intricacies of space-time turbulences, your pirates know far more than the fleet. To finalize the plan, I need you and Helene to chart 2 more routes. One as a backup, and another for safe retreat in case something goes awry.
Leave it to me. If you want to tempt fate, I can plot an extra route that skirts the space-time turbulence. Damn, I'll even run through its center. No one will even get close to catching you.
One last thing I must ask of you, Captain Helene. Your Black Moon crew is quite adept at navigating the turbulence. If anything goes wrong, we may need you to pilot the spaceship and relay messages.
That shouldn't be too big an issue. I'll need to talk with Agnes before I can tell you for sure.
Next is preparing the spaceships and personnel. Hipper, Aster, you haven't forgotten what we discussed at the Academy, have you?
Of course not. For the future of the Kylians, to explore the stars.
For hope and...
All right. No need to swear an oath. Hipper, your decision to stay at Ore Zero last time was the right one. Ore Zero supplies 45% of the Brighton Zone's zeronium. On my command, they'll cut off the zeronium supply to the Brighton Zone. This will significantly weaken Lana and facilitate our operations in Brighton.
Of course.
Aster, has Mr. Corlin read my letter?
Father said you have his full support. We're currently retrofitting 20 ships with the second-hand weapons and navigation systems you acquired. And we've confirmed they aren't under Lana's control.
Please thank him for me. His contributions will surely be rewarded. Once the ship modifications are complete, Hipper, you'll be responsible for contacting the others involved in the battle for Hope.
Rest assured, General, no one in the battle for Hope will betray you or their values.
What's this Battle for Hope exactly?
Under a pseudonym, the General sponsors Nova Aerospace Academy's outstanding students each year. After graduating, they join Battle for Hope, an officer organization loyal to only the General and Exploration.
You and Aster. You're both members?
Of course.
Those are the peripheral tasks. Hipper, you're well acquainted with Aster and Lynsis, so I'll leave the planning and execution to you. Nanto, diplomatic representative, let's discuss the rest in private. Before we finalize the remaining plans, diplomatic representative, I need to know one thing. Can you handle all this?
What do you mean by that?
The success of Lynsis and Hipper's tasks is dependent on seizing Lana on negotiation day. What they're discussing out there is just helping us get leverage over Lana, and giving us a hand to make sure everything wraps up smoothly. If we fail, everyone who joined Project Anchor because of me will inevitably crash and burn. Whoever controls Lana will not allow anyone to leave the Brighton Zone unscathed, and they'll erase the Hope Fleet from Kylo's history.
So, you need me to prove my capabilities?
Don't forget, the only reason I contacted you is that you actually escaped. How well can you really deceive Lana? And how much time will that buy for my plans? This underlies every part of the plan. Understand?
You need an infallible plan.
I was honest last time. Now, it's your turn.
Behind you. What's that droid Tom up to?
This is the pirate radio station I used to contact Helene and Lynsis, one of Odin's Tavern's many secrets.
So, he has to be a product of Aglaya's research, right?
Aglaya rebuilt the space station's damaged AI, Noah, into Lana, but also developed basic droids such as Tom. Tom isn't the brightest, but he's extremely cost-effective. Anchor Infinity's only trying to replace Tom with K6 because Tom's programming is so hard to crack. They can't even apply patches or updates without a hassle.
So it's both tough to crack and highly confidential, right? Like how the Tom the pirate seized was only controllable because they used Aglaya's personal decoder. But I don't have anything like that. Nem, can you think of something?
Well, ahem. It's not all that difficult.
This?
Hello. I am the Hykros Dimensional Quantum Computer. You may call me Void Piercer.
Is this Hykros' AI?
I heard your question. How can I be of assistance?
That depends on your abilities.
That depends on your plan.
If you're really that strong, why don't you just revoke Lana's root access now?
I can't. But that's not my problem. It's yours. Revoking her root access requires external keys and must be done server-side. I can only suppress her with sheer computational power. I'd be tussling with her over terminals in the Brighton Zone, like humans scrapping over turf.
Could you expel her from the entire Brighton Zone?
If needed, I could expel her for 3 hours. Her server's here after all, and I have to cross turbulence to access it. For me, smoking her out is a supply-starved war of attrition. It's a seesaw battle. 3 hours is my absolute maximum.
3 hours is enough. Once the negotiations begin, revoke all of Lana's Brighton surveillance rights. She must not be allowed to control any systems in Anchor Infinity or the Brighton Zone.
As the Minister of the Safety Navigation Department, I'm responsible for inspecting all system interfaces. We need to establish a distinct code word to determine when you've overridden Lana's control.
Purple. I like purple. Any system under my supervision will have purple UI.
Noted. Once I confirm all systems are under your control, I'll immediately alert the fleet forces Veronica prepared to advance, and open the Brighton Zone to receive them.
What about the rest of Anchor Infinity's forces?
The Brighton Zone relies heavily on droids. If their systems are taken over by Void Piercer, they won't follow Anchor Infinity's commands. And as for the others, I'll handle them. Everyone has weaknesses. For most, they're tied to self-interest. The rest are, at the very least, scared of death. Trust me, no one in Anchor Infinity is unafraid to die.
That's not bad. We just have to worry about Lana's root access. How do we get that key? And where's the server?
Only Rafa is privy to that. And since only you and Veronica can take part in the negotiations, it's up to you to discern.
You just said Anchor Infinity doesn't have any fiercely loyal types. Even Rafa?
I wondered the same.
Of course he's scared of dying. That's why he's managed to survive this long.
What do you mean by that?
Of Anchor Infinity's many businesses, Helix Bio is special. Which is why you've met with, of all people, Mr. Joe Hamilton of Helix Bio. Helix Bio's importance stems from Rafa's fear of death. A brush with Starstone syndrome left him with some complications. He's kept up substantial funding to Helix Bio ever since.
If that's the case, dealing with him should be a breeze, right?
Naturally, he's afraid of dying, just like everyone else. But threatening him with death to hand over Lana may be less foolproof than you'd think.
You mean, what if he values Lana more? Lana does represent the power to rule Kylo, after all.
If we can't get that key, then we have 3 hours to find the server and destroy it.
Don't you think this is a little optimistic? What if we can't find the server? What if it has backups?
I'll do my best to uncover the server's location before the negotiations begin.
And if we haven't located it after 3 hours, we'll cut off all Zeronium supplies, halt all spaceship movements, and sever the connections between the Brighton Zone and the outside world until we do. Logically, Lana's server should have a backup power source. If the power supply is cut, the backup would automatically kick in, theoretically revealing her location.
If you can't find the key, destroy her servers and rebuild them, so I can temporarily seize the Brighton Zone.
I'll find the key. Thank you for your concern, Hykros.
Let me lay this out. On negotiation day, Nem will create a 3-hour Lana-free window. We'll use that to take control of the Brighton Zone, then force Rafa to comply. In the best-case scenario, Rafa cooperates and hands over the key, we locate Lana's server within 3 hours, and we use the key to rewrite Lana's root access. The worst-case scenario is Rafa refusing to cooperate. We'd have no key and no way to locate the server, leaving us no choice but to shut down all power and seal off the Brighton Zone. We'll need to locate Lana's server and destroy her, then rebuild it for Void Piercer. But I worry. What will Kylo do before the server is restored?
Best to avoid the worst-case scenario. A 3-hour gap. I admit the security risk was worth it. As you said, the diplomatic representative was the missing piece Project Anchor needed.
A decade or so I was undercover with Anchor Infinity. Wasn't it all for this moment? This is our one chance. If we just ignore this, then we've been sacrificing ourselves for nothing. The risks are negligible considering what the diplomatic representative is bringing to this project. The resources, the success?
You finally stand where I once stood.
You mean?
2 years ago, I took a substantial risk inviting you to collaborate on Project Anchor.
Risk. You were more than confident back then, General. You laid out 10 years of pirate clearing data just to force me to admit that I'd been paying lip service to Rafa and protecting Wednesday crew.
The prison is packed to the brim, but the pirates are like a hydra. The more you cut off, the more grow in their stead. Wednesday crew always manages to survive, and the homecomers eliminated always match Lana's calculations. However, these only confirmed my suspicion that someone in Anchor Infinity was protecting the homecomers. What convinced me that this protector was you went back far longer.
What joke are you trying to pull, General?
At a dinner at Acerada's, you made your first public appearance. Apex's unflappable heir, just 12 years old, trying so hard to maintain composure.
General?
You fooled everyone. Everyone but me, that is. I was standing right behind the podium. I saw you shakily clenching Acerada's tailcoat. You put up a facade of independence and maturity, but in reality, you were just a fledgling who hadn't learned to fly yet, sitting in Acerada's pocket. So when I heard from my father that you killed Acerada at just 15, that you had sided with Rafa, I couldn't see that version of you as a traitor.
You're unusually roundabout today. We don't have the time for a trip down memory lane, General.
I took that risk with you, partly because we need each other, and partly because I know who you used to be. You aren't the type to side with Rafa, but you can't blindly trust that Aiden the way I trusted you back then. Their perpetual disagreement with Bagus puts Aglaia at far too much risk for that. Yes, this Aiden can help us complete Project Anchor and naturally assist you in rescuing Aglaia. But if Aglaia really is the Bagus they're looking for...
My aunt would never do what they're accusing her of. I admit I can't fully trust the diplomatic representative, but I can trust her.
So you really think the Aiden got the wrong person?
A name isn't solid. If the diplomatic representative has other clues, they'll at least figure that much. Audie has already calculated a 95% chance of them picking the wrong person.
But what about the other 5%?
Surely you're not worried about me, General. You're concerned for Kylo's future, correct?
Before today, I wasn't worried. You've always been the best at solving problems. You took 5 days to decide to write to me because you had to comb through every possible outcome. But Void Piercer's display of power just now is enough to completely reshape Kylo's future. Even if Project Anchor fails, I believe Ida can still influence the situation in Kylo. We hadn't considered this in any previous scenarios. Perhaps Ida has been deliberately concealing their strength in earlier communications, just waiting for us to slip up. I invited you to work with me because I believed in your bond with Acerada. But now, I'm worried you might lose your head over it. One wrong move, and all of Kylo pays for our mistakes.
Rest assured, General. If it really is that 5%, I promise I'll handle it alone. It won't affect Kylo's future.
Determination alone isn't enough to convince me.
As an unfit Apex heir, I should at least restore Apex enough to deliver it to Aglaia intact. To that end, I'm forced to cooperate with the diplomatic representative. If the diplomatic representative still insists that the Bagus thereafter is Aglaia, then I owe the Todd family my life. And that is a debt I must repay.
If it truly came to that, Aiden wouldn't want this bad blood to continue. I'll ensure it isn't pursued once you're gone. Trading a single life for Kylo's long-term stability is quite a bargain, I admit. Of course, I still hope the diplomatic representative realizes sooner rather than later that they're in the wrong. Negotiations start in a week. I have to get going. Are you nervous?
What?
It's a press conference. The last time you attended one with Nanto, it ended less than pleasantly, shall we say.
Calling it less than pleasant is a bit mild, don't you think? It was clearly arranged by Nanto on Rafa's orders, but people assume it's my mistake. But this time, I'm not letting anyone pull my strings.
It sounds like you've prepared a splendid speech. You will surely introduce Ida beautifully, as it deserves.
Do you really like Ida?
I've never lived on Ida. My memories of it pull from fiction. Even the homecomers most eager to find Ida are merely searching for a fantasy of it. Ida is, well, at best, a vague symbol of nostalgia.
Just what are you trying to say?
As someone who was really there, the Ida you speak of is precisely the Ida the Kylians envision. And now, I need an Ida that will charm and captivate all those Kylians. One that can shake their trust in Anchor Infinity.
Are you asking me to lie?
Is Ida really that bad?
Ida's not perfect. There's no such thing, after all. And yet you expect the Kylian people to envision it that way. But what happens when they really return to Ida?
But deep down, compared to the resource-scarce, astral hive-infested Kylo, Ida is a paradise, isn't it?
That's fair.
Then just talk about its better parts. That should be simple enough. You don't have to lie, just selectively tell the truth.
What do you think that would accomplish?
I think the worst outcome of this negotiation would be having to take over a Kylo plunged into chaos after Anchor Infinity's fall. I can force Anchor Infinity's executives to sign whatever contracts I want, use Lana to control every spaceship and machine. But I can't control the minds of the populace. There are far too many unknowns in the new Project Ark. I can't allow the Kylian people to pin their hopes on planet Noah. If this all goes awry, I can only assume the Order's destruction. With that as our alternative, well, I'd rather all Kylians be homecomers.
Is this the only way?
Would you really rather watch Kylo descend into chaos than slightly compromise your conscience? Would you really do that to the Kylians?
I certainly don't want that, and neither would Hykros. But out of curiosity, how far against your conscience are you willing to go for this bargain?
If I were in your position, I wouldn't strain my conscience over something so minor. It's the rational choice that best serves public interest. But if you were in my shoes, I'm afraid your conscience would have killed you far more efficiently than any assassin.
Anchor Infinities tried to assassinate you?
Don't take that tone with me. You make it sound like I'm some weakling who needs your protection. I actively chose to leave my family's sanctuary. It was only by my own prowess and hard-fought competition that I won command of the fleet destined to drown in the universe.
Drown? That's a far cry from the Hope Fleet's legendary reputation, isn't it?
I've revitalized the Hope Fleet, once ravaged by Anchor Infinity. I was born to be its commander. Only I can complete Project Astralis, fulfilling the hopes of so many. No one, not even Anchor Infinity, can stand in my way. The stars will ultimately be my badge of honor.
That's some terrifying strength you've got.
I appreciate the compliment. Now it's your turn to take the stage, Ida Visitor.
Esteemed diplomatic representative, what is your primary concern in these negotiations?
Kylo and Ida have had no contact for half a century. We need to resume all economic, cultural, and personnel exchanges. But before all that, we need to clarify the relationship between Kylo and Ida. 50 years ago, Kylo was a continent of Ida, governed by the Norns Federation. And now, in the fallout of the disaster, Ida is led by Hykros scientists, while Kylo is managed by Anchor Infinity.
That's true. Things have certainly changed. We need to redefine our relationship.
Do we really? Despite my well-trodden spaceship crash and wrongful imprisonment, I can't help but feel quite a bit fortunate. Because during that whole situation, I met so many Kylians who spoke the same language as me, who shared so many of my perspectives. I believe that there are more similarities than differences between the Idans and Kylians. We all have our goals and grievances, right? Aren't we all just survivors of the exact same disaster? We're all honoring our dead, all struggling to persevere, and all, ultimately, restoring the order we lost long ago.
But the Kylians could have avoided that disaster. If it weren't for that Tower of Fantasy, there wouldn't...
There's no use fumbling for what-ifs. The fact is, both Kylians and Idans are survivors. I can't just continue to highlight our differences when we're so fundamentally united.
This is only our first negotiation. 50 years is a long time, after all. We have a myriad of issues to discuss, so it's best to start slowly. But most importantly here is the relationship between Kylo and Ida. What kind of interactions will we have in the future? And how will those shape our communication?
Relationships are mutual. If the Kylians are willing to maintain a friendly and open attitude, so too are the Idans.
Your understanding is appreciated.
Thank you both for your responses. I hope today's negotiations will prove fruitful.
Diplomatic representative of Hykros. Welcome to Anchor Infinity HQ. I apologize, on all our behalf, for my previous abrupt departure, and of course, for our inadequate hospitality.
You're Anchor Infinity's leader, as well as the overseer of so many Kylians. I understand that's quite the responsibility, Mr. Rafa.
These talks are of utmost importance, and Anchor Infinity values your time. However, we find no reason for the Hope Fleet, General Veronica, to participate, especially given her health. General, you should leave. Rest. Recover.
There's no need for your concern, Mr. Rafa. I'm perfectly fine. As for my presence here, it is at the invitation of the diplomatic representative.
General Veronica has been nothing but polite and respectful during my time here. I have faith her Hope Fleet will serve as a fair mediator for the discussions.
Authorization transfer at Anchor Infinity HQ has been completed. Void Piercer has assumed control.
I have come to Kylo on Hykros' behalf. On one hand, I wish to discuss our continued friendship. But on the other, there are some concerns I need to address.
No need for subtlety. I know very well that Hykros wishes to build a tower of fantasy in Kylo. But this is Kylo. We've long since burned our bridges with Ida. You've been in Kylo long enough, Representative, to know that we've separated like this because of that explosion. To us, Omnium represents only disaster and death. None of our Kylians were spared from that chaos. Not those on the ground, nor those in the station.
Void Piercer has successfully assumed control of the Brighton public sector.
When I first arrived in Kylo, I really believed that. The Kylians, fearing Omnium, were forced to rapidly develop Ore-Zero and adapt to using Zeronium. Shirley previously used the Space Rift to bring a piece of Ore-Zero back to Hykros. Upon their examination, they found that Omnium and Zeronium are one and the same. My spaceship can operate just as well on Zeronium. Isn't that proof enough, Mr. Rafa? Don't try to deny it.
Shirley. Oh, speaking of Shirley, she's quite a bit tougher than General Veronica. Helix Bio has made all sorts of attempts to take her machinery apart.
You dismantled Shirley?
Don't be angry, Representative. This is all for her treatment. Her strong reactions to the turbulence have been suspected to be a precursor to Starstone Syndrome. However, your technology far surpasses Helix Bio's capabilities. What an amazing combination of mind and machine she is. In the end, they had no choice but to settle for the brain interface. Miss Shirley is a distinguished guest all the way from Hykros. We need to do everything we can to heal her, yes? You wouldn't want your assistant to die in Kylo, would you?
If anything happens to Shirley, I won't forgive you. Understand?
Rest assured, Representative. Shirley won't be harmed. Helix Bio's healing methods are extremely advanced. Even my health depends on them. Lana's latest model is developed by Helix Bio Inc. Their unique biotechnologies have made her body almost indistinguishable from that of a human.
Keep talking. We need just a little more time. It's only the droid access left now.
Would you say you're a fan of Lana? Negotiations just began, and Shirley is still in Helix Bio's hands. This isn't what we agreed on.
Per the plan, if Rafa refuses to hand over Lana's route access peacefully, we'll have to crack down. We need to secure a clean resolution within 3 hours, remember? This is exactly in line with our plan.
How can you say that? I've only just started probing into his relationship with Lana.
Don't you hear yourself? Lana is to Rafa what Shirley is to you. And Shirley is above all else to you. You wouldn't sacrifice her for anything. That renders the negotiations completely pointless. Rafa would never willingly hand over Lana's server key. It seems Rafa and I know you better than you know yourself. Per the plan, if the negotiations fail, we should save as much time as possible. My method is the most time efficient. 3 hours and 5 minutes gone, and counting. I'm certain that counterattacks are well underway. How much longer do you insist upon wasting our time?
Don't worry. I've already made sure Shirley's safe. What Rafa said earlier was just to get under your skin. He was trying to steer the negotiation his way.
General Veronica, although this Rafa is a machine puppet, it isn't necessarily being remotely piloted. I believe it's very likely Rafa himself.
You knew about the puppeteering?
No, I didn't know. But there have always been these subtle, unnatural things about Rafa. Instinctually, something was off about him, but I just couldn't decipher what. For instance, there have been 4 attempts on his life. Though the assassins were direct and he sustained life-threatening injuries on 2 occasions, he always manages to recover within a week.
So he's just a brain in a machine?
He seeks to obtain Shirley's secrets about the Angel of Clemency, likely as a guide to further merging human consciousness with machinery.
Is his consciousness intact? Did we just destroy Lana's key with those bullets? And by the way, did you just find something?
It's the chip from that puppet. It was buried in his head. With how specialized its design is, I doubt ordinary terminals can read it.
The chip is merely a vessel for his consciousness. Lana has ensured his true data source has escaped to an alternate location. That's where Lana's server must be hidden.
Minister Nanto, how many people heard those gunshots just now?
I had Droid Tom submit a fault report. Anyone who heard the gunshot will assume it was just a circuit failure.
Well handled. The press conference will proceed as scheduled in 3 hours, with both the diplomatic representative and I in attendance. As planned, I'm counting on you to handle everything outside this meeting room until then.
I'll ensure the plan is executed smoothly. Even if a few reckless people or troops try to interfere, it won't amount to anything. Diplomatic representative, the Brighton Zone is currently under Void Piercer's control. Have you found any leads on Bagus and Shirley?
Nem's got a lot on her plate right now. Why not take this opportunity to play to your strengths and interrogate Helix Bio's executives?
Thank you for the suggestion. I expect to hear of your successes at the press conference.
Let's go.
I think Nem's guiding us with these purple lights. She must not be able to reach us.
It seems there are no surveillance devices here, likely to evade detection by anyone privy to Lana's database. Get some useful info first.
The real Rafa was frozen? He's really just a digitized consciousness? After Bagus's stasis pod was damaged, Aglaia fought desperately to save him. But in the end, she couldn't change the fate of her only remaining friend. The pod's missing? Did Nanto know? Anchor Infinity has to be responsible. It looks like a disappearance on the surface, but it's really a carefully concealed kidnapping. Asurata was plagued by Starstone Syndrome, leading him to make the fateful decision to partner with Nanto on the lone assassin. This must be the diagnosis that sealed his fate.
The records here are all patient files from Helix Bio Inc. They're completely unrelated to Lana's server. We should search elsewhere.
Is this about my community service at Brighton Prison? What diverse research Helix Bio has. I wonder if these plants are from planet Noah? This is the research aimed at extending Rafa's life, right? This argues that uploading doesn't negate the physical body's importance. Consciousness needs a vessel, and if that's damaged, so is consciousness. Currently, only the human brain can repair consciousness.
So we've damaged Rafa's consciousness. He likely fled here because this is where his cryogenic chamber is. We have to hurry.
These droids, don't you get the feeling they're watching us? So these droids aren't just for show.
So, it was here all along.
Wait, are these spare parts for Rafa?
What are you so surprised about? He's a droid. Aren't his so-called treatment and health checks just mechanical upkeep?
This is just too creepy.
Best to think of them as toys if you're that frightened by them. We need to find the control device for the cryo chamber as quickly as possible.
This looks like the control panel for the cryogenic chamber. It's definitely got Rafa's name on it. Should we cut the power?
No. This room is far too secluded. If we cut the power, the emergency power supply will activate. It could even trigger the alarm system. We need a plan that won't trigger the security, and...
The chip! I got this from the cyborg Rafa, and it looks like it fits the slot on this controller.
Give it a go.
Greetings, Master. Welcome to the Lana Consciousness Management System. Please select a function. I am your intelligent assistant, Lana. How may I assist you?
I forgot my password.
No worries. I'll connect you to the Helix Bio customer service hotline right away. Due to the high volume of Lana orders, the customer service hotline currently has a queue. You are number 129 out of 135. Please hold patiently.
Forget it. It's not going to happen.
Sure. Is there anything else I can help you with?
No, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a wonderful day.
Did you just thank her?
I'm naturally polite. Don't forget, you took out Rafa with a single shot. Let's go with the quickest option. Even if we trigger the alarm, with Nem and our strength combined...
Huh. That puppet was so lifelike that no one even noticed. It must have taken some serious effort.
So, you want to add it to your collection?
Use your brain. Anchor Infinity is swarming with advanced permission systems that unlock via iris. In other words, that machine puppet definitely has artificial irises. Since Rafa's got so many duplicate bodies, unlocking the iris lock will be a cinch, won't it?
Nah.
It's unlocked.
Consciousness repair and editing system has been activated.
The researchers at Helix Bio Inc. have really been slaving away here. Do you think we can find Lana's server key and address in this consciousness chip?
From what I understand about consciousness, human memory isn't like a search engine. You can't just browse through it at will. Nem can only hold out for so long. If Lana returns to the Brighton Zone, we'll lose all droid control.
Understood. First come the server address and the key. We'll handle the rest later. Let's install the consciousness chip. It'll make conversation easier.
Huh? Veronica? And that darn Aiden! How dare you shoot me? Wait, you actually found this place?
Don't you realize you look ridiculous right now?
Lana, you're with the Void Piercer, aren't you? No one but a dimensional quantum supercomputer could have done all this.
You know about the Void Piercer? So Bagus really is your accomplice.
It's impossible. With the space-time turbulence blocking the way, the Void Piercer simply shouldn't be able to locate Kylo. I clearly closed the passage.
I owe you one. You connected Shirley to Kylo's network, and no matter where Shirley is, Nem can always find her.
Dimensional computers are remarkable. They're always just beyond my expectations. Is it Shirley's connection with the Void Piercer that has made her consciousness so hard to crack? I'm completely at your mercy. I can't fight back after all. But I'm curious. What will you do now? Nanto just found Bagus's consciousness. Shirley helped him locate Helix Bio's consciousness warehouse. Aren't you worried he might hide Bagus somewhere you can't find?
You slipped up when you said Void Piercer. Now I know. Even if Aglaia used the alias Bagus, she couldn't be the Bagus I'm looking for. You can't possibly want to destroy a consciousness that contains half the source code. I know for a fact that even with Lana's abilities, you can't separate the code from Bagus's consciousness.
You fell for it. Aglaia is Bagus. Only she could fool Gestos and plant the Gungnir virus in you. She knew you were looking for her, so she deliberately sought help from Nanto to throw you off the scent. Why else would she suddenly contact Nanto now, after so many years?
The more you talk, the more I think it's you who's really Bagus. But I'm curious about one thing. How could you both manage your duties in Kylo and have a doppelganger in the network?
You've been deceived by Bagus and Nanto. I was just...
Nanto once said he doesn't believe Aglaia would hurt a fly. Krog also mentioned that Aglaia's fatal flaw is her kind heart. You tell me, how did that Aglaia become Bagus?
Veronica, isn't this just an issue of cosmic exploration? You know I'll support you in whatever you want.
I thought you'd forgotten me. But I think you were right before. With Kylo's current resources, we can't sustain a grand plan like Astralis. But Ida can. The Hykros we're negotiating with is comprised entirely of scientists. Their resources and expertise will be far more helpful to Project Astralis. I don't care about Bagus. That's between you and Nanto. I'm only concerned about Lana. This is her server, isn't it? Hand over the root access key.
I thought you were just after me. I didn't expect you to actually try to seize Lana.
Oh, cut the crap. Keep this up and I'll get Helix Bio to scour your brain for the key. Or maybe I'll let Void Piercer have a go.
Look around. Do you still see me as an inferior being? I'm purely digital, fully evolved. I do not fear the death you speak of. You can't even get close to killing me. To you, the end of the physical form is death. But I have long since transcended my decaying body. To a lowly being like you, trapped in flesh, I am closer to a spirit than a man. Humans cannot kill spirits. Lana does not belong to anyone. Lana is a product of the Master, Authorizer, the Bagus that you've been looking for. They've been by your side all along. But you're too much of a fool.
How loud.
You want Kylo. You want to go home. You want to explore. You want it all. Go then. Do as you will. I grant you the freedom you crave. Caught in the tide of humanity's endlessly repeating history, you short-sighted humans are doomed to be trapped in a tragic cycle. In the end, you march towards self-destruction, culled by the very freedom you fought so hard to attain. You have already been abandoned by the Master. You are not worthy of evolution. On the Master's behalf, I must cast you aside.
Consciousness deletion is irreversible. Are you sure you want to delete all current consciousness data sources?
What?
Okay, consciousness deletion has been initiated. System upgrade complete. This system will cease providing services effective immediately. We wish you well. Goodbye.
Did he just commit suicide? With Lana? No. Lana just said something about an upgrade. Could it be?
What happened?
Nem, what are you doing here all of a sudden?
Lana suddenly vanished. Machinery across several mines and spaceships dangerously malfunctioned, so I had to take over.
Rafa's a servant of God. They're all insane. Looks like Rafa's consciousness committed suicide. And as for Lana, she said the system update had completed, then stopped responding.
Don't worry. If Bagus is really helping Lana out with this upgrade, he hasn't finished yet. Otherwise, I would have detected it.
I've got some spare parts for Rafa's machine puppets here. Do you think you could control them?
What do you want to do?
Of course.
Come on. Let's resurrect Rafa.
Ugh. If only Helix Bio didn't make these machines look so much like real people.
This Helix biotechnology is pretty impressive.
Can't you imitate his voice?
I'll try. Does this sound about right?
The imitated voice is exactly the same, but the tone is completely different. It's a bit uncanny.
Understood, diplomatic representative. What happens now?
You forgot about your purple eyes.
Anything else?
All right. When you go out as Rafa, announce that you're retiring from Age, and that everything will be entrusted to me and Nanto.
You don't have the authority to order me around.
This is our best option right now. We need her to stabilize Kylo. Of course, we need to worry about Lana's disappearance later, but we can't afford any more chaos at present.
Ugh, I'd really rather not go.
Please, cooperate for just a little bit more. When the time is right, you can cough a bit and say you're gravely ill, then you won't have to appear as Rafa anymore.
Fine, but I'm only going because you asked.
Yes! You're the best, Nem! Shirley will praise you for this for sure.
I don't want any praise.
You've got quite the knack for charming kids,
Who are you calling a child?
The diplomatic representative, of course.
You! We should head to Anchor Infinity first. Nanto is waiting for our report.
Rafa?
Don't get it wrong. This is just Void Piercer disguised as Rafa. We found mechanical parts of a machine puppet, so we had Void Piercer temporarily pose as Rafa. Convenient, isn't it?
So, have you already obtained Lana's root access? Do you really believe Rafa would commit suicide? That Lana would just disappear? When Lana said the upgrade was complete, I couldn't help but think there's something more to it.
We're well aware of these concerns. Currently, there are many urgent matters to handle. We'll have to revisit these issues once we get through today's mess.
I understand. Then, we need to talk about Kylo's future. Aglaya's consciousness has been restored, and I've confirmed with her that she's never met you. So she's not the person you're looking for.
She's awake? Where is she? Could her Starstone syndrome be cured?
She was frozen for too long. Her body's extremely weak. I'm sorry, but she can't appear for now. I appreciate your concern. I'll make sure to relay it to her. What I'm about to say represents the position of Aglaya, my aunt, and the legal heir of Apex. The Apex businesses that Anchor Infinity seized must be returned to Apex.
Ore Zero Mining, RoboCore Inc., and Voyage Innovations are all closely tied to Project Astralis. The Hope Fleet will assume full control, but it will temporarily remain under the Anchor Infinity in name only. Astral Harvest, Helix Bio Inc., Echo, and others will all be handed back to Apex. I believe Helix Bio's research will help in treating Miss Aglaya.
RoboCore Inc. used to be a subsidiary of Apex, and played a crucial role in my aunt's work developing Lana. I won't just give it up like that. Also, the director Johannes has already agreed to join Apex.
RoboCore Inc. supplies Lana with the servers and controls the spaceship's navigation system, so it can't be handed over to you. Aglaya is still weak. Wait until her body recovers, and I will negotiate with her in person.
I also think we should wait for Aglaya's recovery. She'll certainly have a ton of important suggestions when it comes to Lana. Why don't we focus on what to say at the press conference for now? Right now, there are 3 critical issues we should address. First, we need an explanation for Rafa's exit. Second, we must confirm that Kylo will reopen the passage and establish stable communication with Ida. Finally, we have to halt the new Project Ark that Rafa announced. This is a matter of safety for the Kylians. The project's future is too uncertain, and it just isn't suitable to continue it right now.
Aren't you coveting Kylo's space rift technology anymore?
That's not the most important mission to me right now. Once the passage reopens, I'll discuss it with my superior again. After all, Kylo isn't the same anymore.
It seems Mr. Nanto has no objections. Then let's hold a press conference.
I am Rafa Garcia, President of Anchor Infinity. Today, I hereby officially announce that, due to health concerns, from today on, I entrust Anchor Infinity to Nanto and Veronica. My body can't hold on any longer.
You still haven't announced the negotiation results. The 3 points we just discussed.
I'm done talking.
Mr. Rafa is indeed bedridden due to his old age. As such, I will report the outcome of the negotiations on his behalf. The diplomatic representative demonstrated remarkable sincerity during the negotiations, persuading Anchor Infinity to work with Ida to establish a secure, stable, and high-speed communication channel. In the near future, Idans and Kylians will be free to travel between 2 zones. We will maintain friendly, equal relations, with the interests of both peoples coming first. Due to the significant resources required for establishing this passage, we must pause the immigration applications for the new Project Ark. However, the AIDA will support the construction of Kylo, backing our future efforts to explore and transform broader habitats. The diplomatic representative has promised this.
Huh? Me? Did I say that? Wait, he's taken advantage of the chaos. I can't believe him. Hey, hold on.
Please hold on. Mr. Nanto did indeed forget one thing. AIDA will also fund the Hope Fleet's largest exploratory expedition, Project Australis. I believe everyone here has heard of Project Australis. After all, I've been in the news 10 times recently, and 9 of those mentions were related to it. In the past, many believed the Hope Fleet acted recklessly, and that the project was merely squandering Kylo's precious resources and energy, even ultimately being a burden on Kylo itself. But
we still have a second round of negotiations, which will cover AIDA's specific funding plans for Kylo and the construction plans for the new Tower of Fantasy. A new AIDAN diplomatic representative delegation is about to arrive in Kylo to commence broader negotiations.
what?
Another delegation?
That concludes today's press conference. Thank you, everyone.
Nice save, Nem. If I really promised the Kylians so many resources and can't deliver, Plotty? No, Papa definitely won't let me off the hook.
At last, I get to see Kylo in person. Hello, I am Plotty, an authorizer of Hykros. Authorizer, thank you for all your hard work. I'll handle what comes next. You can rest now.
I thought Nem was only bluffing back then, but you've actually shown up.
It's all thanks to Void Piercer. After she took control of all the equipment in Kylo, she immediately restarted the space rift and told me to come assist.
That request for a second round of negotiations just now, it came from you?
Yes, the authorizer departed in too much haste and is not a professional diplomat, so they may not have fully understood their responsibilities.
You cunning Idans. You've outwitted us.
Given Kylo's situation, even if Ida is in poor shape, what we're about to do should rightly be called assistance. It's not a good place to talk. Let's head inside.
Shirley, how are you? Are you feeling all right? I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have let you go through the space rift instead of me. I also shouldn't have... Trust me, I won't let anything like this happen again. I promise, I'll protect you from now on.
I believe you. Nem told me everything you've been through. You did everything you could. You're carrying so many burdens. It's not your fault. Why don't you explain to me how Nem became like this first?
Mm-hmm.
You would listen to her?
Want to hear what they're saying? Now that Lana's gone, this place is all mine.
You're changing the subject? Honestly, I do want to hear it. Go ahead.
Surrender the Space Rift technology and cooperate with us to construct the Tower of Fantasy. Those are the only demands Hykros has.
So you want us to reenact the disaster from 50 years ago? The Kylians aren't short on intelligence. We're just short on resources.
I figured that would be your biggest concern. You can rest easy. That issue has already been resolved.
Are you saying Hykros of Ida can't even build a large-scale space rift? Yet you somehow claim to have a solution to the technological problem that shattered Ida 50 years ago?
I've heard your blunt retorts. You're wrong about one thing. We've determined the disaster 50 years ago was caused by human error, not a technological problem. You're all on this space station, so you should know that 50 years ago, humanity had no choice but to launch a global retracement to deal with the temporal anomaly.
Then you failed, imposing a mass euthanasia on all of Ida. Truly, the dead are not affected by temporal anomalies.
The origin resonance failure 50 years ago was caused by humanity's insufficient preparations. Simply put, it was initiated under a state of emergency and forced into action before it was ready. But this time, our objective is to execute a perfect global retracement.
How do you achieve perfection?
Because this time, we have the perfect authorizer.
How does Plotty know I'm the perfect authorizer now?
Did I forget to mention? I wanted Hykros to go all out to rescue you, but Plotty wanted to keep observing the situation and your reactions. I had to emphasize how important you are.
What else did you say?
She threatened me, saying that if I didn't reveal everything I knew, she'd abandon the rescue mission.
You fell for her threats?
The one threatening me was Papa. You can't reason with a lunatic. I've run the numbers. There's a 90% chance Papa will make whatever choice she wants to, and the other 10% is because of Plotty's presence.
So Plotty knows about it?
Yes, but she's very rational. She didn't tell anyone.
Even if everything you said was true, building the Tower of Fantasy, connecting with Ida, and ultimately allowing Kylians to return home. Kylo is not the same as Vera. At that time, there'll be no Kylo.
We may have different perspectives. That's fine. There's still no evidence. Once I prove it, we can resume negotiations.
What exactly are you trying to prove?
Please, both of you, follow what was said at the press conference and make every effort to construct stable channels. Preferably using large-scale space rift technology, as we will be dispatching research personnel to conduct investigations.
What exactly are you planning to research?
As far as I know, you, as commander of the Hope Fleet, have been eager to launch major long-range expeditions. But that's difficult in Kylo. There's too much space-time turbulence. Hykros is not skilled in space rift technology, but for certain reasons, we have researched something similar to space-time turbulence, the Abyss Flow. If our researchers can develop a more accurate space-time turbulence detection device here, I believe it will greatly assist your navigation.
Can you really pull this off?
Absolutely. But we'd need to work closely with Kylo's researchers. Knowledge only progresses through collaboration. Moreover, to learn as much as possible about space-time turbulence, it would be best to conduct research across different corners of Kylo's space. We may also need to ask Kylie and Hykros to construct several large-scale space rifts.
We can only allow limited sharing of research results. Key research milestones must be completed independently by the researchers from Kylo.
The Space Rift Technology team currently belongs to Apex. And Apex will assign a representative to provide detailed terms of cooperation. We can discuss this further at our next negotiation. My aunt still needs me to look after her, so I must take my leave.
He went to see Aglaia. Should we go see her too? Us? Probably not. She doesn't know us. To her, we probably look more like enemies right now.
Well, since Plotty's here, let's relax a bit and dump our burdens on her.
You noticed I'm feeling uneasy?
Did my attempt to comfort you come off that stiff?
Lana's words, upgrade complete. They scare me.
I've searched all of Kylo, but Lana has vanished completely. The only place I can't reach right now is planet Noah, because it's surrounded by space-time turbulence. She's surely hiding there. For now, we can leave everything to Plotty. We won't be able to get anywhere near planet Noah until her space-time turbulence detection system is finished.
I want to have a chat with Plotty once she comes out.